Hello there, you're onto the Power Circuit, a program brought to you by the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. This is where you get to know more about key milestones and scorecards of the Nigerian electricity supply industry, NESI. I am your anchor, Amara Agugisi, and here are the headlines today. Minister of Power kicks off Battery Energy Storage System Study Workshop. TCN deploys hybrid technology to build a new 330, 132, 33 kV Lubwe West main transmission substation in Abuja. In the interview segment of the Power Circuit, we had the General Manager, Material Control and Stores at TCN, Engineer Abdul Kadri Adamu. The TCN officials spoke about the challenging yet innovative task that their department undertakes to facilitate the delivery of key projects and maintenance tasks across power transmission lines and substations nationwide. The Minister of Power kicks off Battery Energy Storage System BESS Inception Workshop in Abuja. The meeting is to drive the feasibility studies for the deployment of BESS in the Nigerian power grid with funding from the African Development Bank (AFDB) and Sustainable Energy Fund for Africa (SEFA). The project will be implemented by the Transmission Company of Nigeria (TCN) towards unlocking reliable, scalable, and sustainable electricity solutions.
The inaugural workshop on the Nigeria Battery Energy Storage System BESS feasibility study, hosted by the Transmission Company of Nigeria (TCN) in collaboration with Africa Development Bank and Sustainable Energy Fund for Africa. The Minister of Power, Chief Adebayo Adelabu, represented by the Assistant Director, Renewable and Rural Power Access, Engineer Ben Anyagor, emphasized the urgency of addressing energy storage challenges as solar and wind power continue to gain traction in the country.
This gathering is a demonstration of the commitment of the federal government led by His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu through the Renewed Hope Agenda to adopt innovative, climate-smart, and future-oriented energy solutions. The feasibility study being launched today is not only a technical exercise, it is a strategic milestone on the path to modernizing and future-proofing Nigeria's power infrastructure.
According to the minister, battery storage systems would enhance grid stability and flexibility, reduce reliance on fossil energy-based power plants, enable deeper integration of renewable energy into both grid-connected and off-grid systems, while improving power quality and system reliability.
It is a well-known fact that Nigeria's power sector has undergone significant reforms. Nonetheless, certain challenges persist. These include the intermittency, limited dispatchability of renewables, grid instability, and underutilized generation capacity. In expectation of the increasing penetration of renewable energy into our energy mix, as envisioned by the Nigeria Electricity Vision 30-30-30, it is imperative to provide for energy storage facilities to capture supplies electricity when supply exceeds demand and to dispatch it reliably when needed.
In his address, the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of TCN, Engineer Dr. Sule Ahmed Abdulaziz, represented by the Executive Director, Transmission Service Provider, Engineer Oluwabenga Ajiboye, said the workshop presented an opportunity to understand the technical and commercial dimensions of BESS and institutional readiness to implement the system.
At TCN, our mandate centers on maintaining and expanding a transmission network that is reliable, resilient, and able to respond effectively to the demand of our growing economy. For years, our operational teams have contended with the challenges of frequency fluctuations, peak load pressure, and limitation in reactive power support. These technical constraints affect every layer of the electricity value chain, from generation dispatch to the final delivery of power to homes and industry. Battery energy storage systems offer us a powerful means to address these persistent challenges. For example, they enable frequency regulation, reserve capacity, and voltage support, directly strengthening grid performance and unlocking more efficient use of our transmission assets. This is precisely why this feasibility study is both timely and so important. This workshop is an opportunity not only to understand the technical and commercial dimension of BESS, but also to determine the institutional readiness, operational protocol, and capacity building priority that will underpin successful implementation.
The TCN boss further stated that the challenges of frequency fluctuations and peak load pressures could be resolved with the integration of the battery energy storage system. The Director General, Nigeria Country Department of AFDB, Dr. Abdul Kamara, represented by the Chief Engineer, AFDB Country Office, Chigozie Egoruo, said the bank is supporting the study with a $1.2 million grant.
Energy storage feasibility study, which is what we are discussing today, is a key piece of Nigeria energy transition puzzle. Of course, the importance of this initiative cannot be overstated, and as we work towards the ambitious goal of the M300 of trying to connect 300 million Nigerians, battery energy storage becomes a very critical and important aspect of achieving this aim.
During an expert panel discussion moderated by the project manager, AFDB Project Implementation Unit of TCN, Dr. Omobala Odusoga Shobo, panelists shared insightful contributions on unlocking the potential of battery storage systems across Africa.
Delivering critical infrastructure ahead of its time is a prime objective at the Transmission Company of Nigeria (TCN). To this end, the company has almost completed a mega transmission substation in the Lugbe area of Abuja. TCN deployed a hybrid technology comprising air-insulated substation (AIS) and the gas-insulated substation (GIS) to build the 330, 132, 33 kV Lugbe West main transmission substation in Abuja. The game changer, upon completion this year, will revolutionize the bulk electricity supply of the axis it will serve, respectively. Tag along for the details.
This is the 330, 132, 33 kV Lugbe West main hybrid transmission substation in Abuja. The brand new substation is being delivered by the Transmission Company of Nigeria (TCN). It connects several other substations in Abuja and the Federal Capital Territory. At the substation, a senior manager, AFDB-funded projects at the Project Implementation Unit of TCN, Engineer Usiju Mark Haman, provided further insight into the evolution of this enormous transmission facility.
This project was awarded in 2018, but became effective on August 2019, and the project has been running ever since. As at now, we are at 91% completion. The project has 2 by 150 MVA power auto transformers and 3 by 160 MVA power transformers.
This transmission facility, which has 3 control rooms, is slated for full completion by December this year.
The project also has 3 control room buildings where most of our protection, control equipment and our SCADA will be equipped. And at the moment, the project is scheduled to be finished in December 2025.
There are more sets of equipment as part of the components of the substation, says the TCN official.
This project has two 330 kV line bays coming from Gwagwalada. We also have 2x150 MVA power auto transformers, and we have 3x60 MVA power transformers with 9 33 kV feeders and a 4x132 line bay, which will be radiating power to Kukuaba and Kuje respectively. This project is sponsored by the French Development Agency, AFD, and it's currently at 91% completion.
And that is not all. On the 330 kV level, the substation is fully equipped to deliver bulk electricity to the load centers of the Abuja Electricity Distribution Company, AEDC.
We have 9 33 kV feeders. These feeders will be evacuated by the AEDC to the following communities between Lugbe, Idu, and Karimo. At present, all our equipment are on ground, and the contractors are on ground, and work is ongoing, and the project shall be completed by the 31st of December.
The Lugbe West Main 330 132 33 kV transmission substation is a hybrid facility. Again, Engineer Usiju Mark Haman explains what this means.
A hybrid substation is a mixture of the AIS, air insulated, and the GIS, the gas insulated. At present, this substation is at 91% completion. This station consists of a 2x330 kV line bay, which will be fed from Gwagwalada. It also has a 2x150 MVA 330/132/33 kV capacity, which will be adding, when the station is completed, a 240 megawatts capacity to the grid. In addition to that, we also have a 3x60 MVA power transformers, and then we have 3 number 33 kV feeders. Lastly, we have 4 132 kV line bays, which will be feeding power to the Kuje substation and Kukuaba respectively. We are in the 132 kV control room building in the GIS section, and as you can see, we have our GIS equipment which have been installed. At present, they are being inspected because they spent some time at port, and after the inspection, installation would commence.
Come with us to see the control rooms and how the facility operates to deliver the crucial role the substation will play in bulk electricity supply mandate of TCN.
So we are in the 33 kV control room building, and in this building we have our 33 kV metal-clad switchgear. We have 9 feeders on this in this control room that will be radiated on the 33 kV feeders.
You have seen the efforts that the Transmission Company of Nigeria TCN is making to improve the bulk electricity delivery capacity to Abuja and the Federal Capital Territory, FCT. TCN seeks your support to continually guard against the vandalism of power transmission infrastructure nationwide. Watch out for a tour of another substation in the Abuja feeding scheme in a subsequent episode of The Power Circuit. Just after this timeout, the power circuit will continue. Please stay put.
The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, transmits bulk electricity from power generating companies, GenCos, distribution load centers of distribution companies, DISCOs, nationwide. At TCN, we transport bulk electricity at very high voltage to DISCOs, who now off-take it and distributes it directly to electricity customers nationwide. TCN does not generate electricity. We transport the quantum of power generated to distribution load centers. TCN does not distribute electricity directly to electricity consumers. Our job stops where that of the DISCOs begin. TCN, transmitting bulk electricity in the most efficient and effective manner.
You are on the interview segment of the Power Circuit. Right here, we feature officials of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, so you can get to hear firsthand the values and progress TCN is bringing to the Nigerian power sector. Here with us today is the General Manager, Material Control and Store at TCN, Engineer Abdulkadri Adamu. He speaks about the challenging but engaging role of his department in ensuring the delivery of key projects and maintenance tasks across power transmission lines and substations nationwide. Hear him speak. What is the role of material control and stores in the overall mandate of wheeling bulk electricity?
We have to start, let's say, with the textbook definition, or what is the main role of material control and stores. You know, material control and stores, they have distinct but related functions. They are intertwined. While the stores, the function of the stores deals mainly with the physical management of materials in the stores. That is, it deals with receiving, storing, issuing, and keeping record of inventory in the stores. This is the primary function of the stores. Material control, on the other hand, deals with much of a broader management perspective, in that it entails the planning, organizing and controlling the flow of materials from procurement down to consumption. So what we mean here is that it could even be prior to procurement, because prior to procurement you need to have the need. There should be the need for that material, which also is part of what the stores, during stock taking, you now see your level is depleting. Part of the planning you do is that you see that this stock is depleting, so there will be the need to replenish it. Then, in the consumption, after consumption, most of our power equipment we deal with in TCN, they have lifespan, or they may expire due to maybe a lot of things. So if they expire, we now go to the obsolescence. That's when they become even scrap. So the function of material control even goes beyond the actual usage of the material up to its final resting place. When it becomes a scrap, you scrap it. But always, for us to understand the real function of material control and stores in TCN, we need to also know our network. What are you dealing with? What kind of store are you thinking of? Because each organization has its own peculiar kind of materials that they stock, they keep in their stores. So I just want to give you a little overview of what we have in our stores.
TCN is quite vast. How does your department cater to the material needs of the various substations and transmission lines?
What TCN network entails. In TCN we have 10 regions across the whole country. We have 31 sub-regions. We have 11 work centers. These are where our administrative centers are, all over the country. We have staffs there, we have maintenance staff, engineers, we have storemen, we have store in each of these locations. And we have 57 330 kV substations. 57 330 kV substations, 186 132 kV substations. We have 98 330 kV power transformers of various ratings, from 300 to 150 MVA to 90 MVA, 98 of them. We have 395 132/33 kV power transformers. This number of transformers and substations that I am calling now, I can assure you they can be the more than what you have in maybe half of maybe some of the African countries. So really, you see that for you to maintain this network and this number of equipment, you need to have at least a certain number of equipment in your store.
How do you ensure that materials and spare parts do not deplete completely from your inventory?
Part of the functions of the material control is to make sure you plan adequately. You coordinate with other relevant departments. The user department, we call them here, that to make sure that you are looking at your level of stock, and then you are looking at your procurement time. You know how to also liaise with the procurement department. How long does it take you, for example, to have to procure, let's say, a 150 MVA power transformer? At least is 18 months. 18 months is from the time you put order, not from the time you start the procurement process. So you have to be planning all these things. So part of the major role of material control and stores is that insofar as there is supply in the grid, insofar as TCN is willing power to all the nook and crannies of this country, material control is working, because we are the one that are making sure that the spares, the materials that are required to keep the grid going are available, are at site, and they are at the right, with the right, technical specification and quality. And even we are also maintaining the safety of those equipment in the store.
Yes, indeed, it's a huge task, but one that challenges officials to be innovative and to be on top of their games. The General Manager, Material Control and Store at TCN, Engineer Abdul Kadri Adamu, confirms the commitment of TCN to always having spare and power equipment as it continues to deliver on system-improving power transmission facilities. We will bring you the concluding part of this interview in subsequent editions. Here is a highlight of the reports we brought to you. Minister of Power kicks off Battery Energy Storage System Study Workshop. TCN deploys hybrid technology to build new 330, 132, 33 kV Lube West Main Transmission Substation in Abuja. In the interview segment of the Power Circuit, we had the General Manager, Material Control and Stores at TCN, Engineer Abdul Kadri Adamu. The TCN officials spoke about the challenging yet innovative task that their department undertakes to facilitate the delivery of key projects and maintenance tasks across power transmission lines and substations nationwide. The Transmission Company of Nigeria TCN is glad to have you view editions of the Power Circuit to increase your knowledge about the Nigerian power sector. You can do this simply by visiting the TCN YouTube channel. We urge you to support TCN by connecting to all its social media platforms. For Facebook, like TCN via Transmission Company of Nigeria. Please follow TCN on X, formerly Twitter, by searching for @TCN_Nigeria. You have information on the go on Instagram when you click TCN_Nigeria. TCN officials always welcome your observations and comments. Kindly send them by email to affairs.public@tcn.org.ng. You can get more information about the company's activities on its interactive website, www.tcn.org.ng. There is also an information site, www.tcnnews.ng, to speed up your knowledge about happenings in the power sector. We urge you to always support TCN by being vigilant against vandalism of power transmission lines, towers and substations in your locality. You can please report all suspicious moves to vandalize or sabotage power transmission assets to TCN officials or security operatives and formations near you. I am Amara Akugesi. See you next week.